I welcome you all to this very informative and a very important webinar on cybercrime, cybersecurity. India House is bringing this in collaboration with the CMIT Solutions of Switzerland. And before I talk about CMIT and its owner, Rashmi Sheel, I just wanted to let you know a little bit about India House. I'm not going to go in very detailed discussion or detailed description of what we do, but just want to show a little bit, just one slide to show you that we have been, as we all have been affected by this virus, coronavirus, we have moved to online classes, and I have shown on this slide, we have almost every day some of the other online classes like BolyX, dance, fitness classes, yoga classes, meditation classes. Then we have seniors technology classes. We have Hindi language classes. And then we also doing teleconsultations on immigration law, family law. We also do teleclinic, the medical clinic on phone, consultation on some of the computer problems, and also on the relationship coaching. Having said that, I want to introduce you to our today's speaker and the main person who will be doing this webinar, Rashmi Sheel. She's the president at CMIT Solution, and she's a very good public speaker on cybersecurity and has been doing multiple webinars on the same topic. Prior to opening her business on cybersecurity, she's Sugarland-based enterprise. Before opening her business on cybersecurity and IT services, she has been working in corporate America for 2 decades with a large organization and has been employed with names like Oracle, HP, Macy's, to name a few. She has published many articles on the same topic or the IT related topic, but her expertise is on cybersecurity. Today she'll be talking about who the targets are, what are the attack vectors, what tool and strategies you can use to protect yourself, reduce the risk, protect yourself, protect your business on a very cost-effective basis. And now, without much ado, I will hand over to Rashmi Sheel, the CMIT. Thank you, Rashmi, and welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. So I'll start sharing my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So hey everybody, good afternoon. I'm Rashmi Sheel, as Vipin sir introduced. First and foremost, I'd like to thank India House for this opportunity to speak to you all today. To begin, a little something about me. I am your local CMIT Solutions partner. And the reason I'm here today is I have my own personal mission. That is to bring security awareness to individuals and businesses so that they can avoid getting breached. Why do I do this? I do this because I have had a close experience getting breached. About 4 years back, a social media account of a family member was compromised. Fortunately, the family member was a minor, so we did not have a financial impact. However, it was a tough experience dealing with emotional aspect of after having such a breach. After that episode, I decided to help my community and create a business that also helps create awareness for cybersecurity. So today you will be learning a lot of techniques that will help you keep yourself and family members safe from cybercrime. So cybercrime is a multi-billion-dollar industry affecting industries of all sizes. Now with COVID, there has been a drastic drastic shift towards remote work, and there are many opportunities created for cyber criminals. We are all online. Most of our activities have gone online. So cyber crime is now an opportunistic crime, and under the current circumstances, as I mentioned, there are many opportunities available to these criminals as we are doing more activities. So today I'd like to address some of these issues and concerns and things that you need to be aware of. You will be going back with a lot of knowledge about protecting yourselves and family. So we will look at the evolution of cybercrime. It's very important that we need to know why this is happening. Again, who are the prime targets? What are the threat vectors? What is your role? How can you protect yourself? And we'll briefly look at a few solutions. So let's dive into the evolution of cybercrime. A major factor that has helped cybercrime to evolve by leaps and bounds is primarily the ability to have financial transactions done without tracing the money trail. So major cybercrimes initiated with online payment systems and e-commerce, but now with the advent of Bitcoin, the bad guys are no longer worrying about being caught. Many of us hear about the dark net. So what is the dark net or the dark web? It is actually a web space where all kinds of illegal activities happen. Many of us will not even ever go to darknet because we cannot access dark web by our normal browsers. You need a special browser, and we'll talk about a little bit about that too. So the dark web is very organized, and it has entire retail ecosystems like what you see in our surface web, like Amazon. And not only that, they have their own job postings and an entire organization out there. So very few people know that the dark net was actually developed by the US government during war times years ago in 1960s, and it was called the ARPANET. And over the years, now darknet is penetrated by the bad guys, and now it is a hub for all illegal and malicious practice. So if you want to learn more or what darknet is, I'd recommend you watch a documentary on Amazon Prime. It's called The Silk Road. It is about a true story of a marketplace called Silk Road, the rise and fall of Silk Road, which was found by FBI and closed down. So I'd highly recommend you watch Silk Road so that you can get some idea of what goes into the darknet and how organized it is. So what you see on this slide is a picture. It's actually a screenshot of the job postings. So Ransomware Rivalry is a recruitment site very similar to Indeed or Monster.com that we know of, except the fact that hackers are recruited here. And on the yellow highlighted text is actually a job ad. The ads are designed to attract hackers. We find many ads for malicious software. They will even offer like trial periods for malicious software. Before you buy, you try out for 30 days. So if you can see the highlighted text, I'll bring your attention to a monthly salary of 63K a month and 762K annually. So think about it. With so many people unemployed and people who are not conscious or are okay to do, willing to get into the illegal world, it's a very attractive option for them, right? So again, this is a big concern of our times. All I wanted to point out is dark web is very organized, and it is a lot of people are out there to take advantage of people like us. And again, it is not only large enterprises. There are so many tools readily available. So anybody and everybody is a target here. So look at this picture. This picture the slide was actually used on an RSA cybersecurity presentation. This slide was documented by an FBI agent who studied a criminal organization on the dark web. The picture actually represents the structure of one such organized crime company, and you'll be amazed how similar it is to any other company that we know of. So look at the kingpin on the right-hand side top corner. Now just replace it with CEO. And then again, the victim, replace it with a customer. So what you now get is very similar to any organization here. The money operations manager is primarily the CFO, technical manager, CTOs, operations manager, CEO. So, I mean, it's very organized, and it's out there and doing all illegal activities on the dark web. This diagram is of an iceberg, and it actually represents the entire web space, which is very large. The internet that most of us see is the tip of the iceberg, which is just 4% of the actual web space. The tip of the iceberg is where we daily, reside, do our browsing of news sites, email, YouTube, listen to music. The rest below the water that you see in this picture is deep web and dark web. So deep web represents data of organizations, government records, institutional records. Typically, the data is behind a firewall or some kind of security mechanism in most cases. Now I'll draw your attention to the end of the iceberg below that, which is the dark web. Dark web is where most of the criminal and illegal activity is conducted. This web space is accessible through a special browser called Tor. And what I will highly advise you that you should never try to get into the dark web. It's extremely dangerous and should be avoided at all costs. So when hackers who use phishing and social engineering techniques steal a credential that is available, on the surface web or deep web, what they do is they sell these credentials on the dark web. Once a credential is available on the dark web, it is very time sensitive. Bad actors start, purchasing these credentials, and they try to hack in and get into the deep web or the surface web accounts of those credentials. And once they do that and they are successful, it is seen for an average of 197 days, they sit idle within your network, your systems, and they study your habits. And why do they do that? They do not attack immediately. They do that to study your habits and maximize any financial gains out of it. And again, from the moment a credential was available on the dark web, it was seen, it takes only 19 minutes for Russian hackers to move and get inside the system and start watching the victim. So this, in fact, is a ticking time bomb. If as individuals we do not protect ourselves, our identity, our computer systems, it is not a question that it will ever happen to you, but it is a question when it will happen. So this is very important that we learn techniques how we can protect ourselves. This slide, what you see is a screenshot of SpyEye, which is a retail outlet on the dark web. It is very similar to Amazon, but except it's selling illegal products and services, which you can see on the right-hand side, anything from drugs, weapons, anything that you can imagine. Services also, really illegal stuff goes on there. On the cart on the left-hand side is a snapshot, and it's selling bank and credit card information. So it is very similar to a regular shopping cart. As you can see, the more items that you add, the higher the value will go. In this shopping cart, the billing is in European kronas and the amount will increase. So here, if you see the rectangle highlighted, if the buyer selects CVV number or address associated with a credit card, again, the amount in terms of kronas will go up. So this is a screenshot of an online shopping site on the dark web. Here, what you see is a pricing list. On the left-hand side, it's just a fancy way of displaying the same pricing list on the right-hand side. Hackers actually spend a lot of money buying these products. If I can draw your attention, look at the purple bubble, 500 malicious email spam for $400. So why do hackers spend this kind of money? We'll look into it in the next slide. So this slide is from ID Agent product, and according to their studies, the return on investment for a hacker is 20 times what they spend on the dark web, purchasing tools, hacking tools, and services. So indeed, the returns are very high, and this is the reason why this is a huge problem. You don't have to be really technically savvy to get into hacking these days. Hacking tools are freely available on the darknet, and so many more people are getting attracted to dark web. And this is a large concern for us as citizens, law-abiding citizens here. So very important to know what is going on so that you can keep yourself safe. So who are the prime targets? Let's look into it. We've all heard stories about the Target hack and how consumers got affected. Media seldom published the entire story. So did you know how Target actually got hacked? 3 Target stores were serviced by a small HVAC vendor who kept the Target store's Wi-Fi password in an Excel sheet. These local hackers were, they successfully conducted an email phishing scam on the HVAC vendor. And once they penetrated the HVAC vendor's network, they found the spreadsheet of passwords to Target's Wi-Fi. They went and sat outside the Target store in a car, logged into the Wi-Fi to find out the network was not segmented. They had full access to all Target servers, point of sale machines, and everything. And what happened is history, and everybody knows about that. So we all know the story of Targets. Very few people know what actually happened and how Target got compromised. It was actually a small business and a small hacker who hacked into the HVAC vendor, and that resulted into such a large compromise. So it is only that the larger companies, and the associated breaches that get published in the media, the smaller hacks, individual owners, or as individuals, if we get breached, it doesn't make to the news. So why small businesses and individuals are prime target? First of all, they do not have adequate budget. They have low IT skill levels. Their equipments are aging. Owners small business owners are wearing many hats, and they don't focus on security. They believe it will not happen to me. They have a misconception that their data is not valuable. But if your data is valuable to you, and the hackers know, they can just stop the access of your data to you, and you will pay a ransom to get back your data. So that is the concept, and that is the philosophy that hackers go by. And also the lack of awareness. And larger enterprises have been targets for long, so they educate their employees, but as individuals and small businesses, we are not aware, and that is a big concern. So looking at Verizon's 2018 data breach and investigations report, we found that 58% of victims of breaches were categorized as small businesses or individuals. So now let's look into the threat vectors, how the bad guys get in, what are the techniques that they use. So first of all, phishing. What is phishing? Phishing is actually when you click on an email or a link on the web, and that will download a piece of malware onto your computer. Once the malware downloads onto your system, it will typically sit there on your system, study your activities and the network activities so that it can maximize financial gains. And when the hacker thinks the time is right, it will launch an attack. So according to Cybersecurity Ventures in 2019, it was estimated that a business will fall victim to a ransomware attack every 14 seconds. So now let's talk about social engineering. So what is social engineering? Social engineering is a psychological manipulation of people into performing actions or divulging confidential information. And it resembles a traditional con, but here social engineering involves a lot of research. So they'll go look at it's much more planned. They'll plot against you. They'll look at all your public information, especially your social media, to really plan an attack against you. And my advice is not to reveal a lot of information publicly. On the right, you see it's my personal Facebook account, and what you will notice that I have not shared any information related to my high school or where I live. So if possible, make sure you're not putting everything out there. And social media is also a good site where people do research about people and get information. So if you have family members, their birth dates, make sure that you are taking that out of their websites and your websites. The less personal information you post about yourself and friends and families, the safer you are. So on this slide, I will be showing you a short video that will help you understand phishing. And the volume may be low in this video, so I will give you a short summary of what you will see. And I will also comment while the video is playing so that you understand the premise. So this video was done by Cisco, where a young girl without any major IT skills, she primarily uses data from social sites to research a company's CEO, then registers another internet domain very similar to that of the company, CEO's company, and then she sends a fake email to employees to look like an email coming from the CEO to create a sense of urgency so that employees take a quick action on it. Once they click on the link on the email, it launches a ransomware attack. The company pays the ransom. Ultimately, still, they are in the system of the company, and they reveal a lot of information publicly related to the company, ultimately bringing down the stock value of the company, and then loss of reputation and damages. So let's look at the video. So she's just researching on the internet to find more details about the CEO. From social media, she's able to find out the other employees All she did is replace the I with a L, created a new domain, created an email that looks very similar to the CEO's email. Creates an email that looks from the CEO, copies a lot of employees of the company. She just attached a piece of malware that she purchased on dark web. That's the ransomware attack. They pay the ransom. In spite of the ransom attack, their information is still being accessed by the hacker. And revealed publicly. So I'll let you reflect on that video, and this is the true state of affairs that's happening day in and day out. So the third way to technique that hackers use is crypto mining. So what is crypto mining? Crypto mining is basically where a hacker implants software program to run on your computer in the background. Typically, this is done on your browser. So the program uses your computer resources to calculate and secure digital currency, a Bitcoin, without you knowing it. So what will happen is that this will cause your computer to slow down. You will not even notice anything, going amiss. It's just that your computer has slowed down. And sometimes the networks of businesses, they get impacted. Other customers who access the network will not be allowed, since the hacker is just using the resources to mine Bitcoin. And after they are done using your computer for mining, they could repurpose their undetected connection for other kind of malicious activity, just like extracting data from your computer, your systems. So again, crypto jacking and crypto mining is out there, and you need to be aware of that. Now we come to what can you do while you are online. How can you protect yourself and your family without investing into cybersecurity products? So let's look at what FBI suggests. This website is fbi.gov, And what FBI has done is that they have dedicated sections to cybercrime on their website. And they have a web page for each type of cybercrime. And I highly recommend that you go out and check it out. And it includes a description of the crime, what you can do to prevent it. And for ransomware, the number one thing as a tip that they list is that you educate yourself on cyber awareness. This is of prime importance. Before you invest into anything else, you should know what cybercrime is, be aware of various threat vectors and how you can protect yourself. And then you can invest into anything. But first and foremost, what we are doing right now is of prime importance, to be aware and to know what you can do to protect yourself or your organization. So what can you do? First and foremost is have strong passwords. So before I tell you how to create passwords and remember them, first of all, you should have strong passwords and you should change them every 90 days. And let me put out a list of what should not be in your passwords. You should not use your spouse's or children's names in passwords. You should not name your employer in your passwords. It should not be part of your password. You do not use street addresses or part of your phone number or your home cell phone number. No birthdays should be part of passwords. Again, do not use spouses or children's birthdays. Do not use your pet's name, parents' name, the address where you grew up. So again, there are a few techniques that I'll tell you to create strong passwords. One is up there, where I've taken the name of an animal. And again, what I'll do is capitalize the second letter, count the number of letters total. It's 8, so I append that. Then again, I add number of vowels. After 90 days, what I'll do is change antelope to elephant maybe. Again, you can have your own algorithm or your rule to create your passwords, but make sure you're not including personal information that can be gotten from social media about yourself. It should be something that nobody can guess about you. Again, the second example is just a phrase that you can remember and you can change. Again, this screen infographic that I have is from Shell, their cybersecurity training. And what, according to Shell, this is also something that sticks to your mind. Treat your passwords like your underpants. Change them often. Don't leave them lying around. Don't share them. And use strong passwords. If you ever reuse also passwords, do not reuse passwords. The danger of it is if one of your accounts get hacked and you're using the same password in other accounts, hackers will try and use your passwords in multiple accounts to see if they get lucky or not. So again, never reuse passwords. Each and every account should have individual passwords. And if you have difficulty remembering these passwords, I would highly suggest that you get a good password manager. Then you have to remember just one strong password. The other option is sign up for multi-factor authentication where possible. So what is multi-factor authentication? It is a method of other than just entering your password, you get a ping on your cell phone, a code or secondary way of logging in. So if it is possible, sign up for two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication wherever possible. Do not reuse your password, and this is very important. So this is the crux of my training, this slide. What I've found over the years that asking many people like you all to can you identify a fraudulent email? And it is harder when you don't understand how a domain is created. and how to identify what domain looks suspicious in first place. So let's take a minute to talk about that. Whenever you go register a domain, you have to purchase what is called the root domain. And in this example, you can see example.com. Example is the root domain here. And that is very important to know that whatever comes before root domain or whatever comes after root domain doesn't matter. Root domain is always succeeded by a period and then the top level domain, which you see B and C here. The top level could be .com, .net, .org, anything. And example here is the root domain. You could have any number of things before example, any number of things after the slash here, which denotes folders. So what you need to know is just the root domain and the top level. And remember that always what bad guys do is they go out, create a domain that looks almost exactly like your company domain. Visually, it's hard to tell what the difference is. For example, what they'll do is they will use L instead of an I. So at a glance, you would see that it is a similar domain. For example, here I have support@cmitsolutions.com, which is the genuine domain. And the second link here is CMLT Solutions. And at a glance, it would just look like my original domain, right? So this is typically how hackers operate. The other way they operate is they would register something like buyerrights.com. Now you can have CMIT Solutions buyerrights.com, Nike.buyerrights.com, say Amazon.buyerrights.com. But the root domain there is buyer rights. So pay attention to the root domain. If something comes with my email like this, you would really know that the root domain is the one that comes before the top level, which is .com. So that is how you can distinguish fake URL from a legitimate one. For example, this one is the legitimate domain, and this is the fake domain. Which is using something generic and then using the same domain to target multiple companies or individuals. So what I have here on this slide is, we all use Twitter regularly. And what you will see on Twitter is abbreviated domains. So it is usually something that starts like bit.ly.com. Now on a regular URL, when you hover on it, what you see is the end URL. When you hover, you can look at where your link is leading to. But on an abbreviated domain, you are unable to see where the link is being used. Abbreviated URL is typically used in Twitter because it shortens the URL, shortens the number of characters in a post. So you can not see where the link leads to, and hackers, they use this a lot. So if you do not know the person sending you an abbreviated link, don't click on it. It could very well be a malicious site. So do not use abbreviated domains. Again, now here we look at web searches. When you do a web searches, whether you use Google, Bing, Yahoo, it doesn't matter. They will all turn up results based on what you typed in. Now, the thing to be aware of is the first line on the top of each result. Here it is shown in blue, can say anything that a web developer wants to say. So you have a malicious website full of infections that you want people to click on, so you can infect their computer and gain access. So, and you can have a label saying this is the best solution to clean up temporary files on your computer, but the link is leading you to a malicious site. So again, do not go by just the description of the link. Instead, go and look at the link. And if you're not sure if a link on while you're browsing is malicious or not, so without clicking the link, you can highlight the link and copy it. Once you copy, here is something very important. It's a free website. It is used by law enforcement agencies a lot. It's called virustotal.com. So you can copy the link and go to virustotal.com. You have options to upload a file here or a URL. So click on URL, paste the URL that you copied, and you can search. So what will happen is there are 62 different antivirus and anti-malware engines beneath this website. So it will search through these antivirus engines and tell you if this website has malicious content or not. And sometimes when you get emails, what you can do is, and if you're not sure of that email, what you can do is you can forward that email to scan@virustotal.com. The email is scan@virustotal.com. It is associated with this website, and they will reply back to you within a couple of hours if the email is genuine or not. So this is another resource available to you, very few people know of, but you can utilize this without any cost. So now let's look at an email from my Outlook. Basically, you get an email, it says Time Warner Cable. So that doesn't mean that the email is exactly from Time Warner Cable because it says so. IT people like myself can create a domain just like what we talked about, and then add emails to the domain, and we can name anything, on that email account. If I want an email to come from Mickey Mouse, I can very easily create it. So in order to really understand, let's open the email. When you open the email, like we just learned today, pay attention to the sender of the email. Again, using the root domain concept, look at the root domain. Here is timewarnercable.com, so it looks genuine. The next thing that you want to do in any email that you feel suspicious about is look for the logo or color that typically a brand would put in an email. If something is amiss, it's probably a sign that you should be concerned. You should not click that email. The third thing is look for a sense of urgency on the email. If there is an urgent request to take immediate action, that could be a warning sign too. The last thing what you can do is, you look at, hover over any links in the email, and you can apply the rule, URL rule that we learned about root domain on the link to be able to judge whether the URL is correct or not. And again, you can copy the hyperlink, go to a browser and paste it. I would never advise you to click on links on email. Instead, if you have to do it, type it onto a browser. Probably your antivirus will catch it. But when you click on an link in email, it will immediately, if it's a malicious content, it will download a payload, and that is risky. So one more important thing is encryption of data. So if your data is not encrypted on your hard drive or your laptop, if someone steals your hard drive, it's very easy to extract your data, even though they do not know your password, but they can extract data from your hard drive unless you have encrypted your data. So consider encrypting your laptop, especially if you are traveling. Also, you want to have some kind of remote wiping capability, especially for your mobile devices. And if ever your mobile device or laptop gets lost, you can basically remote wipe the device. So that is something that you can also consider if you're traveling a lot. So last but not the least, your home network is used oftentimes to access important data like your bank accounts or financial transactions, credit card transactions. So how many of us had our internets installed a couple of years ago or years ago, and we never changed the password on the internet? Also, we never updated the firmware on the home router. That is a big security concern. So it's very important that we do update firmwares on password and make sure that we are updating all passwords, whether you buy a Ring camera or Alexa device. Make sure you are changing passwords. If they are default passwords, you are not using default passwords. We want you to review every device as a potential threat vector for bad guys to get in. We want you to care, for your home network as much as any network that you use to access your official documents. Please get someone to review your home network. Since we do not update our firmwares, there are potential risks associated with home networks, and especially right now, a lot of bad actors are taking advantage of that situation. Again, last but not least, if you have kids accessing devices that you use to access financial data, make sure you have separate devices for your kids. You don't want a kid to accidentally hit a link on a pop-up that they get that downloads a malicious software on your computer. So that is very risky. Keep your important data on a laptop or a device that is specifically used to just access important data. So according to Webroot, in 2019 threat report, 68% were consumer devices that had some kind of infections. And so it is very important that as consumers, we are taking proper care of our devices as well. Also, if you're using Windows 7, please make sure you either update to Windows 10 or you stop using the device completely and replace the device. It's very important. Windows 7 has a lot of security bugs in it. So now, right now, we are in the shopping season, and this year there has been a spike in online shopping. In April, according to FTC, there were 15,000 online shopping complaints. In May, there were 19,000 till date. Americans have lost more than 13.4 million to coronavirus-related online shopping scams. So 94% of these complaints were identified, as purchases done on Facebook and Instagram platform. They purchased some kind of item, but that was never delivered. So please make sure you are purchasing things only from shops that you know about and has good review. Here are some of my tips for online shopping this year. So the danger here is email, online ads, websites offering heavily discounted or free items. So the tip is look closely for odd sender email addresses with odd language. Be wary of sites offering deals that look too good. Never click on links with emails or ads. Links will download a malicious software to your computer. Again, shopping on websites that don't have security features in place. This is important. Check that any shopping site, check that it starts with an HTTPS, not just HTTP. The extra S in the URL signifies that there is a special level of security in place for transmitting private information on the internet. So only buy from shopping sites that start with HTTPS. Again, if you go on websites that's requesting personal information that is not needed, don't give out personal information, for example, social security numbers, bank account numbers, if prompted during an online checkout, or if you get a pop-up advertisement or anything in email that is requesting a lot of personal information. Once you voluntarily provide this data, your information will be compromised and you will be used by hackers. So again, shopping online with debit cards, I ask you, if possible, use credit cards instead of debit cards, as this limits your personal liability. Just in case it is a scam or data is lost, be careful of fake apps. Make sure that you verify the app, the brand, look for reviews on the internet before you download an app. Again, in case you're shopping on Amazon, so I would highly suggest do not shop on stores which have been open for less than 6 months. It could be a red flag. Find somebody that has been open longer on Amazon and has a longer history of reviews. Also, when you're checking reviews, make sure that the reviews have happened over a time period. It should not appear on the same day, like 10 reviews on the same day, or just 2 days worth of review. So it's very important, even if you shop on Amazon, to look for good, better third-party sellers. Again, just in case you do get signs, how do you say there is an infection on a computer? First of all, these are a few symptoms. Your browser is redirecting to a different website than what you'd expect. Someone telling you that they have received an email from you that you did not send. Thirdly, you are seeing pop-ups that tell you that your computer is infected and you need to run a tool. Never do that. Never click on these pop-ups. It's actually a bad pop-up, and a hacker is trying to get you to click a link on it. Fourth, your computer slows down immediately. Get an IT person to check it out. It could be something malicious going on your computer. Again, if you're getting an overload of junk coupons or mail, you might want an IT person to look into your computer. Again, God forbid something bad happens. What should you do? First thing is, do not unplug your computer from the power. Just disconnect from the internet. So turn off, if you have an Ethernet cable, plug it out. If you're on Wi-Fi on your laptop, turn off the Wi-Fi connection. So why do we suggest that? Not turning off the computer, because when you turn off the computer, you stop us from running forensics and finding the root cause of the breach or the malicious activity. All the logs in temporary files, they get lost. So that is why what we say is turn the internet off, not the computer. Second step, take the photo of any pop-up or website redirect with your smartphone, open a service ticket so that we can receive the photo and advise you on how to handle. And again, there are sites where you can report malicious activity, the FTC, Internet Crime Complaint Center, and the FBI field office. So there are places where you can report any malicious or breaches that you experience. Again, here lastly, I would compare, we all know we all have systems to protect our residences. Similarly, we do have cybersecurity systems, just like home residence. So what are the, for home protection, there are three main ways of protecting your home. There are detection mechanisms like video cameras. There are preventative mechanisms like garage, key code, door locks, etc. And they are responsive mechanisms like, monitored and responsive alarm systems. Similarly, for cybersecurity, we do have systems that detect. We have systems that prevent. Again, one of them is cybersecurity awareness training that you are undergoing right now. And there are responsive systems that respond just in case something malicious happens. So we have a lot of solutions in cybersecurity. If you were just aware, there's just antivirus. No, there are many solutions available in cybersecurity. And if you want to learn more, again, let me know, or India House know, and we can speak to you on that. Again, I am a part of CMIT network. We have been operational in US for 22 years. We have more than 240 offices around the nation. And we have more than 800 cybersecurity experts in our network. We do more than cybersecurity. We do anything and everything in IT, security being our top priority. So what we do is we help individuals and businesses support with their IT systems, protect their data, and develop tools and solutions for them. So that is what we do. If there are any questions, let me know. And with that, we conclude our presentation today. So let me know your feedback if you like the content or you wanted something else to be covered. And if there is any question, I'm ready to answer them right now.
Rashmi, you can unshare the screen and let them type the question on the chat, and then we can take the question.
Okay.
So here is the first question while you are unsharing your screen.
Okay.
Okay. How secure are the systems like LifeLock, etc.?
Yes, LifeLock is a good system. I mean, any solutions, there are multiple solutions out there. And anything to protect your identity is a good solution.
Any other questions, kindly type in the chat. Thank you, Vijay Palodji, for saying it's a great presentation. Indeed, it's a wonderful presentation. Password protection. What do you mean? Somebody has written password protection. She explained how what is the best software. Is there any software for password protection?
So what I recommend is a good password manager. All password managers, reputable ones, are good. For example, LastPass, Dashlane, Sticky Passwords, they are good password managers. So all you need to remember is one single password, which is, you can create a strong password, and the rest, the password manager can manage or generate passwords for you, which are strong in nature. Yeah, so I see VPN firewall. Yeah, I do have solutions for VPN firewall, and they are good in protecting yourselves. Eero router security feature. I wouldn't be able to answer brand specific, router questions here. If you need something very specific, please email me and I could answer to that.
I'll take the last question somebody has asked. There are many questions. All attendees, I would like to say this. Please send an email. You can send an email at info@indiahouseinc.org, and I am definitely going to pass it to Rashmiji and she'll answer all your questions. Somebody asked the name of the, you had given the URL for the safe, checking the site is safe or not.
It's
Virus.
virustotal.com.
What about the email?
Scan@virustotal.com.
With this, I think we running a little short of time. I wish we had more time, and since we have declared. But Rashmi, let me tell you one thing. It was a very, very informative and very knowledgeable presentation. Your presentation was excellent. And thank you so very much for enlightening all of us, because internet is one thing which all of us are using. The very fact that participants are here are through internet. So all of us are using internet, and we'll host many more such informative webinars. With your help, we'll try to help our community. And once again, thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. And with this, I would close the webinar and hope to see you all very soon. Join India House programs. Most of the programs are online, and I promise to come back with more webinars as informative as this one was. Thank you very much.